Welcome to the Discourse Analyzer AI Toolkit, where articles come alive. You're hearing the audio version of our article. For the full text and an interactive experience, check out the link in the description below. Interact with any section using our AI assistant to enhance your understanding. Let's explore.
Functionalism and Discourse Analysis methods. Functionalism provides a powerful lens for analyzing discourse, utilizing approaches like systemic functional linguistics to explore the multifaceted roles of language in social contexts.
This methodological framework examines how language functions to construct reality, manage social interactions, and organize information, enriching our understanding of communication. By dissecting texts across ideational, interpersonal, and textual dimensions, functionalism allows for a comprehensive analysis of how language shapes and is shaped by the dynamics of human relationships and cultural norms. This introduction outlines the scope of functionalist discourse analysis, emphasizing its capability to reveal the underlying mechanisms through which language operates within various communicative situations. 1. Analyzing language functions in discourse. Functionalism, particularly through frameworks like systemic functional linguistics (SFL), provides a robust methodological approach for analyzing discourse. One of the key methods involves examining the three core functions of language as identified by Michael Halliday: ideational, interpersonal, and textual. Let's delve into how each of these functions can be analyzed in discourses. 1. Ideational function. Objective: to understand how language represents the world and experiences. It involves analyzing how texts convey information, concepts, and the speaker's or writer's perception of reality. Methods: thematic analysis. Identifying themes and topics within the discourse to see how information is organized and what is prioritized. Transitivity analysis. Examining the processes, verbs, participants, nouns, and circumstances, adverbials, used in sentences to uncover how actions, events, and relations are represented. Nominalization. Looking for the transformation of processes into nouns to understand how discourse abstracts and generalizes concepts, making them part of a broader narrative or ideology. 2. Interpersonal function. Objective: to explore how language establishes and navigates social relationships, expresses attitudes, and manages interactions. This function is crucial for understanding the dynamics of power, solidarity, and identity within discourses. Methods: mood and modality analysis. Investigating the choice of sentence types, declarative, interrogative, imperative, and modal verbs or adverbs to determine how speakers position themselves in relation to the content and the audience. Speech function analysis. Identifying speech acts, e.g., offering, demanding, to understand how language is used to do things, like persuading, instructing, or questioning. Evaluation and appraisal. Analyzing how language expresses judgments, evaluations, and emotional responses, revealing the speaker's or writer's stance towards subjects, participants, and the discourse itself. 3. Textual function. Objective: to analyze how language structures texts to make them coherent and relevant to their communicative context. This function addresses the organization of language to connect ideas and facilitate the reader's or listener's navigation through the text. Methods: cohesion analysis. Examining the use of cohesive devices such as reference, conjunction, and lexical chains to see how information is linked across the text. Information structure. Looking at how given, known, and new information is sequenced to manage the flow of information effectively. Genre analysis. Identifying the genre of the discourse to understand how its structure and content adhere to or diverge from conventional patterns, influencing readability and effectiveness. 4. Application in discourse analysis. By applying these methods, discourse analysts can uncover the multifaceted ways language functions within texts and talks to construct realities, negotiate relationships, and organize information.
For example, an analysis of political speeches might focus on how leaders use the interpersonal function to establish authority and solidarity, or how they employ the ideational function to frame issues in particular ways. Similarly, in educational settings, analyzing textbooks through the lens of the textual function can reveal how information is structured to aid learning and comprehension. Functionalism, with its focus on the social purposes of language, offers discourse analysts a powerful set of tools for dissecting and understanding the complex dynamics at play in any communicative event. 2. Register analysis. Register analysis is a fundamental aspect of functionalism and discourse analysis, focusing on how variations in language use are shaped by different contexts and situations. Register, as defined within systemic functional linguistics, SFL, and other functionalist approaches, refers to the configuration of linguistic features that are systematically associated with particular situational contexts. Analyzing register involves examining how the field, what is happening, tenor, who is involved and their relationships, and mode, how the message is conveyed, influence linguistic choices and patterns. Here's how register analysis can be applied in discourse analysis. 1. Techniques for register analysis. A. Field analysis. Objective: to understand the subject matter or the social action being undertaken in the discourse. Techniques: lexical analysis, identifying specialized terminology, jargon, or thematic vocabulary that signifies the subject matter or domain of discourse, e.g., legal, medical, educational. Activity analysis, examining the actions and processes described in the text to infer the social practices and activities it is associated with. B. Tenor analysis. Objective: to explore the roles, relationships, and statuses of participants involved in the discourse. Techniques: pronoun usage and address forms, analyzing the choice of pronouns and forms of address, e.g., first name, title plus last name, to gauge the level of formality and the nature of relationships, e.g., hierarchical, equal. Modality and politeness strategies, investigating modal verbs, adverbs, and politeness strategies to understand how speakers or writers negotiate power, distance, and solidarity. C. Mode analysis. Objective: to analyze how the form of communication, spoken, written, or multimodal, and the medium, face-to-face, digital, print, influence language use. Techniques: channel features, identifying features that distinguish spoken from written discourse, such as the presence of pauses, fillers in speech, or the complexity and structure of sentences in writing. Organization and layout, examining the organization of information and the use of visual layout features in written and multimodal texts, such as headings, bullet points, or images, which can guide interpretation and emphasize certain elements of the discourse. 2. Application in discourse analysis. Register analysis allows discourse analysts to uncover how variations in language use reflect and respond to the demands of different communicative situations. For instance, analyzing the register of academic writing can reveal the conventions and expectations that shape knowledge production and dissemination in academic communities. Similarly, exploring the register of social media discourse can illustrate how language adapts to the casual, interactive nature of these platforms, including the use of emoticons, hashtags, and informal language to foster engagement and community. By systematically analyzing the linguistic features associated with different registers, researchers can gain insights into how discourse functions across various domains of social life, from education and law to media and everyday interactions. Register analysis thus provides a powerful tool for understanding the relationship between language, context, and social action, highlighting the adaptability of language to meet the communicative needs of diverse contexts and situations. 3. Multimodal discourse analysis. Multimodal discourse analysis, MDA, is a branch of discourse analysis that extends functionalist principles to the study of non-verbal modes of communication, encompassing images, gestures, layout, music, and more, alongside spoken or written language. This approach recognizes that communication often transcends linguistic boundaries, engaging multiple semiotic resources to construct meaning. MDA is particularly relevant in our increasingly digital and visually oriented world, where texts are not just written or spoken but also visual, auditory, and spatial. 1. Foundations of multimodal discourse analysis. A. Theoretical underpinnings. Social semiotics. MDA is grounded in social semiotics, viewing all modes of communication as semiotic systems with their own grammar and meaning-making potentials. It emphasizes the idea that meaning arises from the interaction of different semiotic modes within cultural and social contexts. Systemic functional linguistics, SFL. Inspired by Halliday's work, MDA extends the concept of metafunctions, ideational, interpersonal, textual, to non-linguistic modes, analyzing how these functions are realized across different semiotic resources. B. Key concepts. Modes refers to the various means through which communication happens, such as language, image, sound, gesture, and space. Affordances. The potential of a mode to produce certain meanings due to its material and cultural properties. Intermodality. The relationship and interaction between different modes within a text, focusing on how they complement, enhance, or contradict each other to create cohesive multimodal discourse. 2. Techniques for multimodal discourse analysis. A. Visual analysis. Examining how visual elements, e.g., color, composition, framing, convey ideational content, establish interpersonal relationships, or organize information textually. Analyzing how images interact with written text to construct narratives, arguments, or identities. B. Gestural and spatial analysis. Studying body language, facial expressions, and spatial arrangement to understand their role in communicating attitudes, emotions, and social relations. Exploring the use of space in physical and digital environments to organize information and guide interaction. C. Audio analysis. Investigating how sound, music, and voice contribute to the construction of meaning, atmosphere, and identities within multimodal texts. Analyzing the interplay between audio elements and other modes, such as how music complements visual imagery in film. 3. Application in discourse analysis. Multimodal discourse analysis provides insights into the complex ways in which meaning is constructed in diverse communicative contexts, from educational materials and political campaigns to digital media and everyday interactions. For instance, MDA can reveal how news websites use a combination of text, images, and videos to frame stories in particular ways, influencing readers' perceptions and interpretations. Similarly, in advertising, MDA can uncover how the interplay of visual, verbal, and auditory elements works to persuade and engage audiences. By expanding the scope of analysis beyond language alone, MDA allows discourse analysts to capture the richness and complexity of contemporary communication practices. It highlights the importance of considering the full spectrum of semiotic resources that people mobilize to make meaning and engage with the world around them. Multimodal discourse analysis thus reinforces the functionalist view of language and communication as inherently social and context-dependent, driven by the need to fulfill various communicative purposes in a multimodal world. Conclusion. Functionalism provides a comprehensive lens for exploring the vast landscape of discourse, emphasizing the intricate ways in which language functions within social contexts to construct meaning, negotiate relationships, and organize information. Through the methods of analyzing language functions, register analysis, and multimodal discourse analysis, functionalism offers nuanced insights into the dynamic interplay between verbal and non-verbal communication across diverse settings and platforms. By focusing on the ideational, interpersonal, and textual functions of language, discourse analysts can delve into how discourses shape and are shaped by the social world, revealing the underlying purposes and effects of various forms of communication. Register analysis further enriches this exploration by highlighting how language adapts to different communicative contexts, reflecting the complex relationship between language use and social action. Moreover, the extension of functional analysis to multimodal texts through multimodal discourse analysis underscores the evolving nature of communication in the digital age, where meaning is co-constructed through a blend of semiotic resources. Together, these methods underscore functionalism's enduring relevance in discourse analysis, offering powerful tools for understanding the role of language and other modes of communication in mediating human experience and social reality. Frequently asked questions. What is functionalism in discourse analysis? Functionalism in discourse analysis is an approach that uses frameworks like systemic functional linguistics, SFL, to explore how language operates across different contexts. It focuses on analyzing language's ideational, interpersonal, and textual functions to understand how discourses construct realities, manage relationships, and organize information. How does functionalism analyze language functions in discourse? Functionalism breaks down language analysis into three core functions. Ideational, how language represents the world. Interpersonal, how language manages social relationships and expressions. And textual, how language organizes texts for coherence and relevance. Methods include thematic and transitivity analysis, mood and modality analysis, and cohesion and genre analysis. What is register analysis in the context of functionalism and discourse analysis? Register analysis examines variations in language use across different situations and contexts, focusing on how the field, subject matter, tenor, relationships between participants, and mode, form of communication, influence linguistic patterns. This analysis helps uncover the adaptability of language to meet diverse communicative needs. Can functionalism address non-verbal communication in discourse analysis? Yes, through multimodal discourse analysis, MDA, functionalism extends its principles to study non-verbal modes of communication like images, gestures, and music. MDA examines how these semiotic resources interact with verbal language to construct meaning, emphasizing the role of cultural and social contexts. What techniques are used in multimodal discourse analysis, MDA? MDA techniques include visual analysis, e.g., examining color, composition, gestural and spatial analysis, e.g., studying body language, spatial arrangement, and audio analysis, e.g., exploring sound and music's roles. These techniques allow for a comprehensive understanding of how different communication modes co-create meaning. How does functionalism's approach to discourse analysis benefit the study of contemporary communication? Functionalism's emphasis on the social purposes of language, combined with methods like register and multimodal discourse analysis, provides a nuanced framework for dissecting the complexities of modern communication. It enables analysts to capture the dynamic interplay between verbal and non-verbal communication, highlighting how discourses mediate human experiences and societal structures in a multimodal world. What is the significance of analyzing the ideational function in discourse? Analyzing the ideational function helps uncover how discourses convey information and represent realities, allowing researchers to understand the perspectives and narratives constructed within texts. It reveals how language shapes our understanding of the world and communicates complex concepts and ideologies. How does interpersonal function analysis enhance our understanding of discourses? By examining the interpersonal function, analysts can delve into how discourses establish and navigate social relationships and express attitudes, shedding light on power dynamics, solidarity, and identity management within texts and talks. What role does the textual function play in discourse analysis? The textual function analysis focuses on how language structures and organizes texts, ensuring coherence and relevance to communicative contexts. It provides insights into how discourses are crafted for effective communication, guiding readers or listeners through the intended message or argument. In what ways does register analysis illuminate the relationship between language and social action? Register analysis illuminates the adaptability of language to diverse communicative situations, showing how linguistic features reflect and respond to the demands of different contexts. It highlights how discourse functions across social life domains, emphasizing language's role in mediating social action and interaction.